Today I'm solving a problem I've had with laser cutters for a long time, making large designs without splitting them into tiles. This piece is 70 centimeters long and it was cut on a desktop laser. Normally that would not be possible, but this Acmer P3 supports a conveyor system that lets the machine engrave and even cut pieces up to 4 meters long. So today I'm going to see how that actually works. I'll walk through the setup of both the machine and the conveyor, test the cutting power, and then try to cut a large design that would normally be far beyond the limits of a machine this size. This thing comes in a huge, heavy box, and I like that. The weight usually means a sturdy build, and the size often means the machine comes mostly assembled. And that's exactly the case here. The machine is packed fully assembled, with only a few small steps needed to remove the safety locks that protect vulnerable parts during shipping. There's a printed settings guide for engraving and cutting different materials. And here is the machine itself. It's quite large, but what you'd expect from a machine with a 40 by 40 centimeter work area, even without the conveyor. There's a protective film on all the panels, and like on many other machines, you actually need to remove some brackets and screws to peel it off cleanly. Luckily, I have some help. I promised my son I would make him a really cool design we found on Etsy using this machine, so he's eager to speed up the process. Inside the enclosure, you'll find some tools, safety glasses, and the 48-watt diode laser unit. This is the most powerful diode laser I've used so far, and it should make cutting most materials pretty fast. The machine also comes with a powerful air assist system, which is essential for a cutting machine like this. You get a material pack, which is good for testing, and of course the power cable and the USB cable. The machine has a loading tray with a built-in honeycomb bed. That's really nice, because the alignment guides on the honeycomb frame are always perfectly positioned that way. I'm just removing the safety locks that protected the moving parts during shipping, and then we're ready to connect everything. I like the tidy setup of the air assist, with the tubing already installed and the pump powered directly from the machine. Installing the laser head is quick, as it should be, especially since you can swap it for other modules like the 24-watt engraving head or the infrared module. And now that the machine is ready to go, I do like the look of it. It fits comfortably on my 60 centimeter workbench, and the clean black design should look good in most workshops. Now, let's get straight into testing. I'm starting with both engraving and cutting 6mm basewood using the recommended settings from the guide. The laser unit has a protective visor, and combined with the dark tint of the enclosure, I might not be able to show the engraving process very clearly, but at least I know I'm well protected from the laser beam. The engraving looks deep and clean, although it would be faster if I had used a raster image instead of vectors. With vectors, the laser fills every individual shape, instead of filling large areas in passes. The cutting, however, is really fast. 600 mm per minute cuts through this material without any problem, and I could probably increase the speed even further. For the large project later, I'm doing a more demanding cut, so we'll take a closer look at that then. Next, I want to take a look at the Acmer design software. This software can control all Acmer lasers and also lets you design your projects for free right in the control app. The interface looks really clean and should be intuitive for beginners, and anyone used to Lightburn or other laser software will have no problem navigating it. The feature I'm most curious about is their intelligent design tool. Let's try the text-to-image generator and see what happens. My prompt was, make a cool logo with the text NordicTurning and something wood-turning related. Well, it looks pretty cool, but having the chisel mounted between the headstock and the tailstock is probably not the best idea. After a few adjustments to the prompt though, I get something I'm pretty happy with. I enjoy making my own designs and spend a lot of time doing that, so I'm probably not gonna stop designing from scratch. But for certain jobs, this tool could definitely save some time. And for someone with no experience using vector design software, this could be their ticket into creating their own unique designs. Let's engrave it and see how it turns out. I'm taking this opportunity to test a new material, colored MDF. I've used it for a few projects recently, and I really like the look of it. It requires very little finishing to get great results. While engraving, the mark looks almost as dark as the surface and hard to see, but just wait till I apply some oil to it. The engraving is crisp, and the app-generated design works. Time for the transformation. Just applying a little oil gives this really unique look and a great contrast. I'll definitely be experimenting more with this material. Now, let's start preparing for the large design using the conveyor. The design will be cut from 8mm colored MDF, and before setting up the conveyor, I want to test the cut settings. I could run a full grid test with power and speed combinations, but I already have a pretty good idea of what should work. So I'm testing 3 circles at 100% power with speeds from 600 down to 300 mm per minute. Whoa, something is wrong here. That's a lot more soot than I expected. It cuts cleanly at 300 mm per minute and almost at 450, but the soot level is not what I expected. After taking a closer look, I noticed the air assist tube had a sharp bend inside the enclosure. Let's fix that and try again. That's a big difference. Before starting the real project, I'll check the rest of the tubing to make sure there's no other bends restricting the airflow. Now, let's set up the conveyor. I'm using the basic version, which is about 120 centimeters long, but you can get longer extensions. With those installed, it can support pieces up to 4 meters long. I won't go quite that big today, but my design will still be about 70 centimeters long, far larger than most desktop lasers can normally handle. The conveyor is actually a pretty simple concept. It has an active roller that grips the material. That roller replaces the machine's y-axis, so instead of the gantry moving back and forth, the material itself moves through the machine. That makes the y-axis virtually unlimited. The laser head now only moves along the x-axis, while the conveyor handles all the y-axis movement. The extension rails are simply passive rollers that support the weight of the material. And this is where alignment becomes very important. You need to make sure that all the rails line up perfectly with the conveyor. I'll show you why in a minute. Once assembled, you add the riser feet to the machine, remove the loading tray and slide the conveyor into place. The conveyor will actually work with most GRBL-based lasers, but it's designed specifically for the P3, so it fits perfect here. It connects directly to the rotary input, so you don't need to unplug the existing y-axis motors. Changing the GRBL settings and messing with the motor steps in the software seems complicated, so that part makes me slightly nervous. But the instructions are very clear and I'll walk you through the setup step by step in Lightburn. First, I create a machine profile with a normal 40 cm work area width and a 2 meter y-axis length. The length doesn't really matter, since you probably won't start jobs from the machine's 0 point when using a conveyor. Then I add a rotary device. There are only a few settings you actually need to change. Select roller, enable rotary, mirror output to rotary, and set the step per rotation value to 107. Now the machine knows how far to rotate the conveyor rollers to move the material exactly 1 mm. Press OK, change the start from to current position and the bottom left corner, and we're ready to go. Before running the job though, I want to test the alignment and see that everything looks good. So I run a fast pattern with lots of back and forth movement. And look at this. The material shifts more than a centimeter in just 10 passes. That means my alignment was sloppy. The extension rails were slightly angled relative to the conveyor. After spending some time adjusting everything, it now moves perfectly back and forth without shifting. I was honestly surprised how big a difference the alignment made. If any of you have experience using conveyors like this, I'd love to hear your tips for getting perfect alignment every time. Now it's time to commit and run the full job. This is a detailed design, and even a small shift would ruin the whole piece. 2 quick tips before running a job like this. Because the laser moves back and forth on the x-axis, make sure you have something underneath that can safely absorb the laser energy without damaging your workbench. I'm using this corrugated, non-reflective metal strip for that purpose. And when cutting with a conveyor, you don't want to cut completely through the material. If the pieces fall out, they could pile up under the laser and cause problems. So I set the cut depth to about 99.9%. That leaves very thin connections that hold the design together until the job is finished. You can easily break those apart afterwards. I go for 350 mm per minute. The job is looking really good, no shifting at all. Because the machine is raised on the riser feet though, my smoke extraction isn't quite keeping up. I might have to improve that later. The cutting settings seem to work well. It cuts almost completely through, but the pieces stay in place exactly as planned. After about 30 minutes, the job is finished, and I can finally breathe a little easier. That would have been a lot of wasted material if it didn't work. Some areas still have about 1/10 of a millimeter holding them together, so I'll sand those off. While I'm at it, I'll also remove the little soot that's on the surface. I'm using 220 grit sandpaper, which leaves a really smooth, nice finish. And there it is. A large design cut on a relatively small workshop laser. And seeing how well the P3 cuts and how well the conveyor works, I'm definitely tempted to go even bigger next time. But that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.